Cool. Yeah, it would just be a natural. Yeah, like, yeah, sweet.
Yeah. Yes, lads. Welcome to episode 2 of the podcast. I know it was called like Omar's podcast or something, but obviously now we've spawned MWA, so we've got this new business, which we're going to bring, to you guys and help beginning, producers get some tips and just have fun with producing. And if you're not having fun with it, you need to be you need to learn some new techniques. So come over to Music Workflow Academy and we'll help you out. Basically, we've got some exciting stuff to announce in today's episode. We've got head honcho of Eject Records, absolute legend Reese, absolute geezer. Met him in Ibiza. Such a sound lad.
Good times.
Good times, man. Missing the White Island. Like, oh, it's a beautiful place, isn't it? We'll be back
Yeah.
soon, man. You had like a villa and stuff. Like, that was
Yeah, I was quite lucky, man. Yeah, that was good.
we actually.
You come up and taught me a bit about production. To be fair, didn't you?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
We had a little.
yeah. Before everything. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, man. I've been doing this for a while, just like being a helping hand, just helping people learn like DJing and stuff, which we also do. Like, we'll help, DJs who want to learn. Like, we'll give them a platform they can book through us, and we'll teach them DJing, or we'll go to their gaff and just help them learn that. And then it just kind of slowly turned it from like a hobby, just helping friends, getting them residencies on radio, and then they eventually blossomed, and I was like, man, this could be something. If I'm good at teaching, I didn't know,
Yeah,
and this could be something that's helpful. And like, I think that's the key to a helpful business, is just helping others. Like,
oh yeah, yeah. If you like, even down to like a spiritual level, like if you want something, you've got to give it first. You know what I mean? You got to give it, and then eventually it comes back round.
yeah, we're both very
Um,
spiritual people. You just got to pay forward. Good karma. Like, I put so much stuff out for free. That's been arguably one of the key things to my success. So like downloads or
yeah,
free music.
yeah,
I'll do your artwork. I'll master your track for free. And then they see that value and they're like, "Fuck, man! Like, let's just chuck money at this guy. He's obviously got a lot of talent, or he knows what he's doing with certain things." So it's easy for people to see that. Once they see the value, they're like, "Let's fucking get stuck in." But yeah, anyway, a bit more about Reese. It's not all about me. I brought on this amazing guest because we
oh, amazing! I love that. Thanks.
yeah, man. That this guy's doing. Like, I'm seeing his label in the top 10 on Beatport like every week. It's insane. I don't know how he's doing it. Like, as a producer, that's something that you want, in your accolades, like, just to be in the Beatport charts. It's such a credibility thing, and it boosts your self-esteem. It's good for you. It's good for you in so many ways as an artist.
Yeah,
Hard to get
yeah,
credibility, like this underground scene, and not all labels are very helpful. Like, I've heard some things about certain labels, and they're,
God, yeah. Some of the big ones as well. You don't expect it, but
you think, you set your sights high for XYZ label, and then you realize how it's run, and you hear, mates who get signed to the label, and you realize that they're not running it in a way that is like ethical, or like a way you'd agree with,
yeah,
man. It's all,
yeah. You got to look up. You got labels. You got to look after your artists at the end of the day. These are the ones that are creating the scene that you're thriving in. Do you know what I mean? So
that's it. That's
when you hear about horror stories like that, it baffles me really. You're killing what what the scene needs. Do you know what I mean? And you can't just take. You got to support them. You got to
give
yeah.
back.
You got to keep them. Yeah.
So
Got to keep them going.
tell us about your record label, Eject. The main reason we brought you on.
Well, it started. We were doing events for about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and the UK minimal scene obviously wasn't there at the time, but it was sort of like deep tech. So we were sort of like borderline for a lot of deep tech raves, with a little bit of like darker tech house in there as well.
So
Um,
you've been, sorry to interrupt. You've been doing minimal for the past 6 years.
no, I'd say minimal since 2015. After experiencing that in Ibiza, I mean, I did mix minimal before, but it wasn't the sort of minimal we know of today.
Yeah,
It
man.
was a lot more like organic, and it wasn't so much. Yeah, it didn't have so much of like a club environment to it.
More like
Um,
so minimal with like the lighter kicks and the lighter.
Yeah, it didn't have the groove that you have today in minimal.
That's
Do you know
mad.
what I mean? Yeah, but yeah, like so. Yeah, we were just throwing events, and we were just trying to think. Oh, we couldn't afford headliners at the time. We just wanted to make the events pop, but we were going around different cities as well, so we could never really establish like a fan base in one city. So it was we were a bit older, like only one or two of us were students, so it was hard to get the students on board as well. So we are just trying to think, oh, how can we get a bit more of a fan base and a bit more of a popularity to make our event sort of pop. And we decided to go down the route of just like having a record label because, you know, a lot of the big events that we look at, say, like Defected and stuff like that, like obviously they were a record label and for an event. So it could have been like a nice angle to go down to boost your event. So yeah, we went down that avenue really, and it was God. I'm so glad I did it. To be honest, not only because it just brought a bit more popularity to the name, but also just the experience, man. Just like working with artists, producers, and networking. It's just it really just adds a lot of like it really just puts a lot of people behind you. And yeah, gives you a lot more access to more things in the music industry, really. Like before, we were just an event and we didn't have headliners; it was just resident DJs. And now you actually feel like you're part of the scene or part of the music industry, which is like what you want, really.
Yeah.
You got more of an identity, you know, which is nice. I mean, like yeah. I mean, yeah, throwing an event now as a record label, you got people over the country that might know your name or they might pop up and come down, you know. And obviously, COVID sort of ruined that, ruined the whole events thing, but it just made us put more effort into the label.
Yeah. What's your funniest story from COVID?
Oh god. Well, probably that there was God. There's probably a few actually, probably some that I can't mention, but the the one I probably can get away with telling is just throwing like a little bit of an illegal villa party in Ibiza this season, and yeah, running for my life when the Guardia Civil turned up, uh, looking for looking for the two lads that had thrown it. They're dishing out thousands of pounds of fines that season. But yeah, sort of after they went, they're lucky there was a lot of Spanish, Italian there, and they could sort of talk their way out of it. But yeah, after they went, we went back there and took up the sound system inside and cracked on. But yeah, man, there was some funny things going on. Like I think I rocked up at like midday to. This is a good thing about like Ibiza. It's a bit crazy, and obviously having the mix of cultures there. Like the Spanish and Italians, they love it. They love a good fiesta. So like I rocked up there about 11 or 12 to like with the guy with the decks and the sound system to get it all going, and there's probably about 10 people like naked just like running around with a loudspeaker just jumping in and out of the pool and stuff like that. And it is you'd probably laugh about it now, but you know what Ibiza's like. It's just you just don't really blink, do you? Like I just walked in and just like, oh yeah, the guy was like, oh, there's a party going on already, is there? I was like, yeah. Just no one mentioned anything. The fact that everyone was naked just cracked on and expected it, but
That's cool. Yeah, mad, isn't it? The fucking
yeah.
So what would you say lockdown's done for your workflow, like in terms of working life? Do you think it's kind of giving you a kick up the arse and you just kind of like...
Oh, massively, 100%, especially with music as well. Like luckily I still had my 9 to 5 to go to, but yeah, it's sort of, once for music and artists as well, once you take away like that core of performing and DJing and throwing events, you've really got to try and fight to like what you've done yourself, mate, when how you've boosted the academy over lockdown.
I lost my job at the start of lockdown, so this is my project for the past year, just every day relentlessly like working on this, and it's brought in like a cult following, and it's like it's the dream, you know, like job fucking in the pandemic and goes fuck it, just starts a business, and it's just been bare profitable, bare successful. I'm making a shitload of money, more than I would in a full-time job. And it's like,
That's it.
I never,
Yeah.
I never would have done it. It just kind of fell in my lap, and I ran with it with my fucking head to the ground, just ran, and it just taking it step by step, and it's growing and growing, and it's
Yeah.
the start of it, and there's a lot of
It's
good.
good because it's like it's if like just like yourself and the artists that are listening as well. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, it's what you love doing. Do you know what I mean? And naturally, it just these things come. Like if you keep working at it, you just got to just keep at it, and yeah,
yeah, man.
keep at it. And COVID luckily gave us that opportunity to have a bit more time to level up. Some people did, some people didn't, but you know, everyone that knuckled down, like yourself, and I'm sure the people that have signed up to your academy, you know, over lockdown, it's because they wanted to put their spare time into learning. Like they're going to see the benefits now. They're going to see like they're above their peers beforehand.
Yeah,
Um,
instead of kicking themselves, they've taken initiative, and they're some of the smartest people. Like, it's like meeting a family member when I get a new client. They're just always so sound and like lovely people, and they're up for learning, and then it takes them to
yeah,
their dreams, and it's so rewarding. I've been getting people
yeah,
in America like DJ residencies, and people over here like radio slots, and getting them on BBC, and just using my opportunities and my like just extending the table to them so they can use those opportunities and grow, and it's a great platform. And yeah, it's been lovely to meet so many people from around the world, and like just help them learn, and like
yeah. That's the most rewarding thing I think that running a label and obviously doing a music school, like the satisfaction from helping someone, like it's just it's sometimes priceless. You know, that feeling you got when you got someone saying, "Oh, thank you so much for doing that," when really it's just what you love doing.
yeah,
And yeah,
never get I never really got that. Like, I've been bumbling around jobs, never really settled in a job where I'm like, oh, I'm dead happy in this. Whenever I get a sick job, I'm
yeah,
for DJ gigs or trying to do networking in the work, and I'm like, why am I here? I should be working on some sort of DJ thing, but because of all the noise of the normal world, I just never really thought, why don't I just teach what I know, because I taught myself.
yeah,
So that puts me in
yeah,
a position to be like, bang, do this, and then
yeah.
people learn. Yeah, man. So what do you think about like the next generation of artists, like being someone who's been in the scene for as long as you, and you're running an insanely successful record label, like for what it is, like, and like, you're very humble and stuff, but like tell the artists listening about some of the success you've had, and like how you've carried some artists to places that they don't need to.
Yeah, well, yeah, like God, in the UK scene, what I've noticed from say when I was 18 to now, like the level of production is just insane. I think maybe because of like the advancements through the doors, like Ableton has been a massive game changer. But we've got lads coming through 17, 18, like Wada, there's a lad called Wada, there's Meady
Oh my
as
God.
well. If you listen to some of their tracks, like the production level for their age is just phenomenal. Like the people that taught me how to produce were people that like they're amazing producers, but at the time when they were their age, it was just like they were making two-step and grime instrumentals, but you know the mix downs weren't really there. Like when you try and listen to them today,
Yeah,
they're like fuzzy and not haven't got the clarity on them and
yeah,
stuff like that. But just even the use of samples, the way they process the sound design and the processing now is just amazing. So it's just really nice to hear like you got people that young coming through, and you just know that they've got a bright future when you can do stuff like that at that age. But yeah, definitely the next generation, the production levels have just gone through the roof. Like it's brilliant to see, to be honest. And it's good as well because for record labels, if everyone's sending you really well produced beats, then you know you got a lot to choose from and a lot to work with.
yeah.
Um,
I love all the releases that are coming out on Eject, like.
yeah, cheers, man. Yeah, thank you.
And yeah, we teach everything really. We'll teach like mix downs, and it's crazy how important a mix down is. Like, if you've
Mm,
got a banger and it's just not got that mix down there, it's just
yeah,
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 just like, nah, I don't want it.
yeah. The thing is with mix downs, it's like yeah, okay. like for the people listening, okay, it is sometimes hard to nail them at first, but the more you put into it and the more you develop your like ear, your musical ear, or you've always got it. Do you know what I mean? It's just like producing itself. Like once you can nail your first mix down, chances are you'll nail the second and third, and you're always going to be performing at that level. So don't get disheartened if you send your demos away and you get picked up on the mix down, because it's one of those things like walking or like running as a kid. Like you're always going to have it once you've nailed it. So and that's a massive thing. That's a massive thing. If someone sends through a track to you and you're like, wow, the mix on this is mad, then it says a lot about you, because like maybe if the sample's used or it doesn't fit in the genre, that the record label could be like, right, but this guy can produce, his production, his sound design, and his mix down is spot on. So maybe let's give him some feedback and say, all right, try this try changing that sample to this sound, or try using an organ instead of like a piano or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so you're saying that you provide like constructive criticism for your artists and
Yeah,
kind of improve their music, because that's something that I don't see enough record labels doing.
oh mate,
It's a great point.
mate.
Like, you
You've
submit.
got to do it. You've got to do it. You've got to look after the lads. You've got to support the lads coming through. We make sure that we reply to every Instagram message, every email, every demo we give feedback on. To be honest, if it comes back and someone sent me drum and bass, then it'll be, oh, sorry, this isn't our sound at the moment. We're clearly a minimal label, but
yeah,
if someone's put time and effort into a track and they've sent you the demo, and like, come on, you got to take that responsibility to bring them on, because you never know, like. They could send you a banger 3 or 4 months down the line. You know what I mean? And like, there's nothing worse than sending an email. I get it myself as well. I send off to venues sometimes, like huge ones, and that you never hear a reply back, and you just think, right, I'm going to remember that when a few months down the line when we're throwing headliners again, and you want a piece of the action because you want the money that we're bringing in.
that's it, bro.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, like. Yeah, I know how disheartened it is for people to ignore you, and like just even a little email back, just saying to the lad, "Oh, sorry, this isn't our sound at the moment." Like it's just nice for them, innit? It just doesn't kill their morale, and lets them know that the door's always open. But,
it's great. It's the right attitude. It's so rare that you see like the right attitude in businesses, and like especially in these scenes. Like our scene isn't that bad compared to like the drum and bass scene or the bassline scene. It's just filled with like fucking turbo nonsense. It's just like what?
Yeah, I've noticed it. I've got a hell of a lot of the drum and bass scene on my Facebook, and I see a lot of beef on there.
I didn't.
See a lot of beef, a lot of like bad mindsets.
Yeah.
As well, but it's music. I mean, you can act how you want sometimes and get away with it, but yeah, the good thing I love about the minimal scene is just like, this is why I'm always going to stick with it. This is me now. Is just the community. That's part of it. Everyone's got each other's back.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a vibe, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 100%. It's a vibe, and it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. So, what's the future looking like for you and Eject?
Yeah, we're just itching to get back to events, man. Like we're just this is our thing. We just want to throw good parties. That's what we started off doing. And like the record label's been brilliant. We're still going to release tracks, but we're probably going to cut back on the amount of releases just to keep our foot in the door.
That's clever.
And just throw parties, bro. Like we've secured a bit of investment over COVID.
Nice.
And we've been in touch with some names that are up for it. Like James Dexter, Jake Flory, obviously Chris Gialanzi, Ozzy Govan.
Nice.
We're looking at going a bit big just to make a bit of a statement in Bristol. We want to get Fabe down, Toman. Yeah, so we're just really excited to get going with it, to be honest. Love a day party as well, try and sort some day parties. But yeah, just pick back up with the events and keep the releases going. Want to get some vinyl releases going. That's always nice. Our long-term goal that we've always spoke of is to eventually have like a record store. Maybe we might be able to do that one day with the profit from events if things kick off. But it all depends on the scene as well, like the minimal scene's moved rapid since COVID. The sound's changed probably every few months. so you don't know like how long it's going to be in for. Like drum and bass at one point died out across half the country. Like you couldn't get someone to go to a drum and bass gig for love of money, but you always could in Bristol, I guess. But and obviously now it's back, which is brilliant. There's a lot of people loving drum and bass. There's drum and bass lineups and festivals.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just got to try and make the most of it while the minimal scenes pop in. But fingers crossed, it's here for a long run. And it's great music at the end of the day.
Yeah, let's do some shout outs. So 5 to 10 years time, let's think who's gonna be up there? Who's gonna be up there? I'm gonna put a few names forward and you do a few names.
Yeah, you start it off, you plant some seeds because I've got loads of names going out my head at the moment.
But there's a few people that do it a bit different. So like one of your artists, one of my close friends, Goras.
Oh yeah.
In Goras.
Yeah.
Bro, he's Ramon is an absolute G, like what a G.
Yeah.
Met him out in Ibiza, and then as soon as he cracked his laptop out and I saw he was on Reason and the way he was making the tunes and the experience that he has, like he's got a lot of experience behind him for his age, which is it's a caveat as an artist, and I love his sound. Like you can tell it's a Goras tune. If you guys haven't heard of Goras yet, you need to check him out on SoundCloud. He's got like over 500k streams on SoundCloud. Like he got close with Patty T, Patrick Topping, got him to repost a bunch of his tracks on his SoundCloud, and that
Big P.
pop off a bit. Big P, man. Yeah, Goras is one.
Goras music.
Oh yeah. Shout out his socials. What is his socials? Goras music.
Yeah, it's most of his tags are at Goras music.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a G. He's talented, very talented. He actually sent me some beats. Like he sent me one at 10 o'clock last night, which was just unreal. I wish I could play it down Zoom. It's probably not worth it because the sound quality just won't be there. But yeah, and then I was like, wow, that's amazing. And then he sent me another one at 2 o'clock in the morning, which is even better. So within, well, it's probably like it was different edge on it, but it was unreal. Like 2 bangers within like 10. It'd be good maybe if we can get him to do some like a quick like 20-minute tutorial on here at some point.
Definitely, he's more than welcome. Like we've done a track together that was just done quite well. That sold a few copies, but yeah, get him on board, man. We'll have to get like me and Reese brought us into this kind of backyard thing in Ibiza, and it was just like a group of lads and just all with the same like musical vision, and it's kind of more than a friend group. It's more like a tribe of people we're just connected on that level where we're all just at a similar place in our careers. Everyone can bang out some tunes, everyone can bang out a set, and like it's a reliable group of like nice, trustworthy, good people that are
good. Everyone's got a good mindset. Everyone's sort of like nice person. No egos, no bad attitudes or anything like that.
Exactly. It's like if you could just duplicate that backyard, what we've got, like the world hasn't really seen backyard yet. Like we had our residencies in Ibiza, like we played in some small bars, but the potential for what really some of the caliber of some of the artists in that group is like future headliners, definitely. Like Goras is a part of it. You know, you've got me and Reese, and you've got a few other names which we'll get into later. But the potential for what we've got is like huge. I think festival stages, you know, you're looking at solid grooves probably at this rate. We're absolutely everyone's showing.
Yeah, it was mad. Like we all sort of had. This is the thing about just like believing in yourselves a little bit, and that the power of having like-minded people. Being surrounded by that sort of people in the same place, like, and in Ibiza at the time where we were just full of inspiration. I mean, UK minimal scene wasn't popping as much as it was then. I think Rossi had just done Paradise, and I don't think anyone had even heard it. I think it wasn't available. We played it at like our first little get together at the actual backyard venue, which was like which was a dime.
What would you reckon? What's happening in backyard right now? That venue, that gaff is shut.
Oh, bruv, yeah, it's gone. It's gone. It's a shame we didn't have a good sound system. Otherwise, we would have taken over that gaff. But yeah, it was too risky. It was like run by some people you don't want to get involved with, basically. But yeah, it was just mad because like this is the stage the scene was at. Rossi hadn't dropped Paradise yet. It was like it was on certain USBs, but we were all loving that sound, every single one of us, and we were like, wow, this is the future. Like, this is what's going to take over. And then yeah, it did, man. Like that's the way the UK dance scene started going, and Rossi just popped, and then like obviously the Fuse residents were already doing their thing. But yeah, it was sort of like the gap between like yeah, Fuse and Rossi,
Fuse.
and everywhere in between there, like it just evolved massively, didn't it?
Yeah, man.
And then the lads, yeah, we all had, and all the lads did well. You got yeah. Well, we can talk about that later, but it surprised me massively when I look back at it compared to none of us really had any platforms at all then. I don't think anyone did. And then now we had small platforms, but now look at everyone now. They're all doing digits, like they're all doing numbers on SoundCloud, Instagram, selling records. They're all getting top tens. Some of them are number ones. Like Begsy's had probably 100,000 plus plays on his SoundCloud. Like you've got your music academy. You've started a record label, and yeah, you got Niall and Owen hosting. Like I think they hosted Rossi as well up in Liverpool.
Is that Vortex? We got
Vortex, yeah, Vortex events, yeah.
And in Liverpool, mate, that's popping. I did a mix for them.
Yeah, Christian Taylor smashed it with Raw Street.
Street,
it's just crazy. Like those is just like God. I don't know how you could look at it, but we're all like in the scene now, and it's all started just from like a vision and like a dream. Do you know what I mean? And we're all in our beef, just full of inspiration and networked, and yeah, just come back, and the scene, we were just in the right place at the right time, but we had the right mindset as well. All of us did. So yeah, it's good, man.
Oh man, but yeah, no, we've all kept it real the whole time, and it's just magical. Like that's what I've been asking for. I almost didn't go to that first event as well. Like I had an argument with the missus, and I was like, my mate was like, "You got to come down to this backyard venue, and meet these lot." And I came, and I bumped into Sam earlier that day and whatever, and I was already mates with Ramon, and me and Ramon were promoting. We had a little event at Hush, which is an old event in Ibiza, which died and then moved to this new venue, Rio, and it was just like hard to get members there, and fucking it was just but knew where. Yeah. Sam came up to me. He was like, "Yeah, come to this event," and then yeah, thank God we all went, and we met like that. But we actually met in a gaff called Backyard. So jokes, like a little grill place. And what was the geezer's name? Was it like Ty? Oh man, I don't know him, man, but he went. He cut.
God, I can't even remember how I got. Oh God! Oh, I think I posted something on Facebook, the IB for Workers group, and I said, I can't remember. I must have said something about looking for minimal DJs or something to work with, and he got at me and he said, "Look, I got a venue." He said, "Look, I've got a venue." Turned out it was Backyard that had been like closed down for like health reasons, and like just mad. Like the owners are people you don't want to mess with. I'm not even going to say what they do on Zoom just in case you get decapitated. And, and then, yeah, like put a message out on that Ibiza DJ WhatsApp group, which Mike owns. Mike, I forgot his name now. Yeah, Mike Medcraft. Sorry, Mike. If you hear this, don't at me.
He's a big.
No, he's an absolute legend, man. He's networking king, good sick DJ as well. So that was really. If we wouldn't have made that WhatsApp group, God, who knows what would happen with us and our motives? Do you know what I mean? And where we would be right now, who we'd have links with. But yeah, I think it was you, Gorus, Ozzy Govan, Chris Giolanzi, Aaron Carrig, Begsy. Obviously, me and Sam Lovell, who I do a jet with,
Sam, big up.
Now,
We'll get into
Niall and Owen from Vortex Events, Christian from Raw Street will come down and get involved.
big up.
Dynamo, Alex McGlory,
Yeah, big
he's
up.
doing bits, and obviously Sam Richards, a legend. Like he's doing bits in techno, but yeah, he's still doing bits at the end of the day. Like he's smashing it.
I'll have to take him to one side and just have a chat with him after lockdown.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a bit of an epic. Like maybe, I mean, this could be quite beneficial to people listening, but like the ways we went from getting knocked back constantly, just trying to get a venue in Ibiza. I mean, it was mainly me and you, but sort of like going around the venues in it. You got older, James. We went from backyard, which got in the end got shut down because of the noise restrictions, and it just wasn't a good venue. Then we went to Rio
Yeah.
upstairs. That was a cool club. So we went up there and it was dead on one of our nights, and we went out and nicked loads of people from the West End, didn't we? Like none of us had ever done any promoting before, and we got it heaving, and that was a good night. And then eventually we went to Paradise Bar, which is opposite Es Paradise in Eden, in San An, and then that was a nice little spot, wasn't it, working with James Best.
Yeah.
And yeah, some days obviously it was like sometimes it was empty at the beginning and it would pick up, and then some days mid peak season it was just rammed, wasn't it?
Yeah, if you're a DJ
So,
and you say you've not, you know, if you say you've never played to an empty room, you're lying. Like everyone's played to an empty room at some point, you know.
yeah, of course you've got to do that. Yeah, you got to do it.
For an 11 p.m. set, you know, and the club's empty. The club's empty, man. You got to make something with nothing, and that's
Yeah,
every
yeah,
had to do at some point. It's fucking difficult, but
yeah. It's just part of the process, isn't it? It's just part of the process. Like as a DJ, well, not D, as a DJ, but DJing like for eject. Like if we play out as eject, like me and Sam just always had a thing where it was like we'd just play if we'd always play no matter what, if we thought there was going to be no one there, or
yeah,
say like thousands or hundreds, like
yeah, players if
we
there's
haven't played in front of thousands yet, but we played in front of hundreds, and it's just one of those things you just got to do as a DJ. You've got to get yourself out there, because there might not be any people that like, but if you're there and you turn up and you play your set and the promoter sees that, the promoter's going to book you for the busy night.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's always about just thinking that one step ahead, having that open mindset, networking, and just keeping yourself in the mix, innit?
100. That's we teach like networking and the importance of that.
Oh, mate, unreal. Everything's come from networking. We haven't, do you know what I mean? Everything that's gone on has come from networking.
To suck at networking, and then this one time I was at Fabric for Fuse on a Sunday. I just supported Lapman in Brighton. I was playing like a minimal deep tech set in room 2, and then did Lapman's after party with him, and then had to get the train to Fabric. I was on 1% battery and got my QR code for the ticket scanned as I got in on the 1%, got into Fabric with I'm with Ben Bomber's manager, this fucking melodic techno producer. I was like, yeah, sick. And you've got Josh Newsom, who's just flown in from Miami, fucking played EDC or something. So we're all there in Fabric on a Sunday. I've had no sleep. You've got the full Fuse lineup. I've bumped into Rich next at the door. And then we've gone in. I've seen Ben Sterling, and I was like, right, I've got to chat to him because I fucking love his tunes. So we got, and at this point, I was just dead at networking. I was like, I've just got to fucking, I was trying to take it easy on the drink because obviously, no sleep. I didn't want to crash and all of that stuff. But
yeah, of course.
I just thought, fuck it. Like, he's a normal guy. We're all normal people. Everyone in the industry is just a normal person. People really appreciate it when you just come up to them and just be honest and be like, you're right, mate. Like, what you're saying, like, just have a chat.
Yeah, not gassing them, just having a straight conversation with them, just like just showing a bit of interest in what they're doing, or asking them how their set went, or
don't go up to people filming them. Don't go up to people filming them like as if they're like an endangered.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Everyone's people. That's freaky stuff, man. It wigs.
Yeah. And like, just if people see you taking a different approach, you're just different to everyone else that's approached them. For example, people going up gassing, oh my god, you're like, say you're this, you're that, you're this, that DJ. Just going up to them and they just want to have a normal conversation with someone. They don't want
Nah.
9 times out of 10 they don't want all that. You know what I
Sure.
mean? They just want to have a healthy, good conversation with someone. So
Especially if it's like a promoter or a celebrity. Like if you bump into Matey and he's got like I don't know how many followers some of the people I bumped into, like 14 million or whatever, chat to them like they're a normal person and they'll respect.
yeah,
Okay, this guy is on a level, like he's a nice person, and that's
yeah. And they remember that, man. They remember that, especially to see your face a few times. But
yeah. I've had oh man, I've had some big names just like and just regularly bumping into them, and then they turn up at your sets and you're like, what the fuck?
yeah, I was at a gig. You ever heard of DJ Barely Legal?
Yeah, of course, mate, of course, female DJ.
Yeah, like I was at a gig. I think I just watched her do the Boiler Room with Fortet. I'm not sure how big that Boiler Room is, but at the time it was pretty huge. And she was playing. Went to X Fest.
Yeah.
She was playing the afters, and I was in. I turned up to the afters early to watch her, and it was quite dead. And I was like, just dancing around with my mate on the dance floor, just like making use of all the space available. And and they bumped into some chick, and we were just talking. I was saying, "Oh no, I really rate her. I really rate her. She's quality." And then yeah, she come down. The chick called her over and was like, "Oh no, she's actually my mate." And
Oh,
yeah, she was just like, I said, "Oh no, wait, I watched the Boiler Room over there. That's sick." And I guess not a lot of the other people there knew who she was, sort of thing. And yeah, just took me out backstage, just chilled with her while she did her set. Gave us loads of free booze. The promoter was coming up to us asking us if we needed anything and stuff like that. And then yeah, just I had a decent night with her, to be fair, and her mates. And then
big up.
I think I needed like a phone charger. My phone was dead, same as you, but I
Oh,
went way past the 1%, bro. I was on I was on -%.
minus.
Yeah, she sorted me out of that,
So was
and yeah, man, it was just decent little experience just from
it?
they just came out of nowhere, and like I wasn't DJing or anything at the time, but if I was, I could have slipped her over USB or
Yeah.
yeah, like linked in with her on Instagram. Like this was way back, but when she first started. But yeah, like
Funny
there's
story.
opportunities like that you can capitalize on if you're ready.
Yeah.
Um, Definitely.
And let's just take a moment to big up all the female DJs. Like it was International Women's Day a few days ago, and like some of the stuff you're hearing in the news at the moment about like police officers, and I don't know if you've seen, what's happened to that Sarah, whatever her name is, and I'm just gonna make sure I get her name right because she got killed by a police officer, and he's just been found with like a head wound. Sarah Everard. Have you heard
No
about this?
way.
Heard?
Yeah, I heard a police officer got arrested for it, but I didn't know he was responsible for it because I've just been moving flat. But that's such a shame, man.
I know, and just
You
a few
think,
days after International Women's Day, we're hearing, news about, a woman who's been murdered by a police officer, and you've got Piers Morgan who's weighing in on Meghan Markle just because she's not 100% white, and like, saying that she didn't think that she was contemplating suicide, and like, just say that stuff, man. Big up all the female DJs. I've met Madam X, I've met Barely Legal, I've met fucking. When I was in France, I had to do AN artist and liaison for DJ Floor, #1 female DJ in France. Just big up all of them, man. Like,
yeah, big up Fleur Shaw as well. She's killing it in our scene
sure, yeah.
as well.
I was talking to some of my heads in Brighton, and I said like they were saying who's the biggest upcoming female DJs. They're managing BMC, which is Brighton Music Conference. So they had like a massive conference in the they got like an i360 like a 360i thing, and I said to them, I was like, you should watch out for Fleur Shaw. At the time, she was like doing releases. There was like Undergrowth or whatever in Birmingham, just shelling
Yeah,
it.
Undergrowth, man. Yeah,
Big
big
up.
big event, man.
Got Jordan Masters as well. He needs.
Jordan Masters and
As
yeah.
far as new northern producers go, he's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, they're killing it, man. It's good. It's good to have like more girls in our scene. Definitely.
It's
Um,
cool. They struggle with mental health as well, so we need to be there, and be.
yeah,
I mean, if they want to chat about stuff, just be open. Don't be a fucking dick.
yeah. That's yeah. It's hard. It must like in yeah. I mean, luckily in minimal scene, the community is brilliant. I know Real Gang are pushing on Miller from Real Gang's pushing on the mental health subject, which is really good to see at the moment.
It's great. As
Um,
soon as I get free.
like to be honest, we want, when we bring events back, we want to work with some mental health brands. Like, well, I think for all the members in Eject, it's probably why we all get on so well, but diagnosed with ADHD.
Yeah.
So like we're probably all a bit loopy in that, but we really want to help push that as well. When we come back to events.
Love to be a part of that. Like, when Music Workflow Academy gets some more funding and stuff, like I want to be part of like suicidal, prevention charities and stuff, and just
definitely want to give a cut of our door takings to like mental health charities and stuff like that. It's so relevant in the music scene, man, isn't it?
It's definitely, man.
Especially if lads are producing in the studio, lads and girls are producing in the studio, hours a day, isolation, obviously with lockdown and everything as well. And then you're going into parties with thousands of people. It's like such a massive change of environments. Then you're on this huge high, and then the next day you're lonely again, and you're back in the studio, and
definitely touring life. Like, if you don't take care of yourself when you're touring, like you're going on to play big shows. I played a few big shows, and like you naturally play more comfortably if you've had a few drinks or whatever. Like that's a slippery slope because you end up drinking at every gig, and if you're playing more. And you're fucking drinking every day, it's bad. And you've seen it happen to like Avicii, like he dependent on alcohol. I've seen some documentary on YouTube. You can watch it if you just type in Avicii before what happened before his death, and you see him in hospital, and he was dependent on alcohol, and like just not in a bad way, but it helped his nerves, and he had anxiety, and it ended up hurting his organs, and then they made him keep on touring, and it was just, no one's to blame for that, but it's just like it's a slippery slope. The touring life it takes out just alcohol to
just even little things on tour, just even if you're not eating right, could throw your moods and
sleep.
Let alone all the other stuff that you're doing.
It's crazy. Like you got manager sleep, like Steve Aoki, he sleeps in the fucking cab, like on the way to the event. About 15 minutes, and then he'll go fly and play. But fair play to everyone like touring, and it's hard.
Locking themselves in the studio for hours at a time.
Oh man, being in the studio is a bit. You need to find that like a work-life balance where you're fucking. I've made over. I don't know how many tracks I've made this year so far. What are we in March? I made about 30 tracks already. Like I'm in the studio, like I sleep in the fucking studio, mate, but I'll send you some new stuff, definitely. But
yeah, man,
big up some more artists. So I don't know if he's on your radar, but Miller, Miller?
Yeah.
James Miller. I think he keeps at it.
James Miller.
His background, and like
we've hollered him for an EP, I think we should have something from him this year, hopefully.
That'd be good. I taught him some lessons as well, and we went into his background and how he's been in the scene for like he's been producing for like 10 years, and he's got good work ethic. He just needs to be focused. I think if he kept making music at that rate, he just kept the support. He needs to holler me for some more lessons, but yeah, man. For the future, I really like what he's about, but let's delve into the endless talent that is the Backyard lot. Like, let's talk about like Ozzy or Chris or fucking Begsy and stuff. Like Ozzy,
God, yeah,
Govern, man.
Ozzy's, they've all smashed it, man.
What a bunch of producers! Like, I can't believe it. DJs, Ozzy, I've seen play live.
God.
We went B2B for a bit in. Do you remember when we got that gig at? What was that fucking club called? Enigma. Enigma,
man. That's a good little place. It just needs. It popped once or twice that season, but it'd be nice to get that popping, bro.
Such a gaff, mate. With
Brighter Days. That was Jack. Brighter Days. Jack Christian and
Paul. With a pool out the front. Jamming.
Yeah.
Big
just
up
below Kenya.
Big up Jack Savage as well. What a G. Big up.
Yeah. Absolute G.
Missed them. Good time.
Yeah,
Remy,
yeah, man. That's it. I've got just anyone listening. If you ever get a chance to do an IB for season, just do it. Don't worry about your 9 to 5. You can always come back. I've walked out on jobs that pay well
mm,
with not knowing if I can come back to them, just to get in the season because you have the time of your life. It's an amazing lifestyle, and also you can just get ahead of the game in music. The networking opportunities are unreal because everyone pushing is in the same place at the same time. Yeah, and it's you got to get it done. You got to get it done. It's going to help you out massively, and it's just good for you as well.
I second it.
Um,
Second everything. I second everything
yeah,
said. Like, bring up all the season airs and stuff. I don't know what Ibiza's saying after Brexit, but I've seen some developments. Like,
yeah. Even as a DJ, right? Going to Ibiza on holiday and doing a Shazam now and then in a club to your favorite tracks. You're coming home and those tracks, your mates aren't listening to them until Christmas time. So as a DJ, you're putting out bangers at gigs before anyone even knows they're good. Do you know what I mean? And then next thing, everyone's playing the tunes that you've been playing them already. So you get that rep, that like you're a bit of a selector and stuff like that. When
definitely.
really you're just been boozing Ibiza for a week, and you and you cut Shazam out. But
Yeah, but like Ray Mono Esperanza, like I wouldn't have known about that tune so early if it wasn't for Ibiza. Like you'd go to a
yeah,
venue and they'd be playing that like uh,
yeah.
before it come out. So obviously Goras in it, he was pally pally with Ray Mono, and he
Hey
had
Mono, yeah.
early
What
cut
was that one, Roberto Suarez, that pot?
share my joys.
Joys, right? So that actually,
Who-
even more, that actually first come out. That was first played by Marco Corolla and Sunwaves in Romania.
Yeah.
So it went Romania in April. So if you were in on that, you would have got in 6 months before. It's like a lot of investment in it. And
What?
then, sorry, and then it got played in Ibiza. So like the real heads knew about it from Sunwaves, and then it got played in Ibiza that summer. So people in Ibiza on holiday got ahead of it, and then like events and like DJs back home didn't start playing it till like October, November, December.
It's
You
like
know what I mean? So
we're, we're gonna hit up Sunwaves. I think that's a festival we're gonna do. I mean,
yeah,
what have you been looking
yeah.
at festival wise? We've been looking at Off Week, ADE. Anything taking your fancy? There's that Rome. There's that one in where is it? Oh, that weird. Oh, I'm not gonna say weird. The Algerian. Is it an Algerian festival
I
or
haven't heard about that one.
Albanian? The one in Albania.
Oh, I'd love to go to. Oh, yeah. Is it? It's not
MWA.
IO. It's in Albania. What's it called? Oh, it's not IO or something.
Yeah, mate, I'm googling it.
And they got a stage that's like a submarine. Like
What? Unum. Unum.
not. It's
Unum.
not. It's not. It's like a submarine bay or something.
Oh, they've got
But
Troxler. They've got. What are your opinions on Seth Troxler? It's either love or hate with him. What do you reckon?
yeah, I love him, man. Ever since I've seen that interview of him when he was tripping on acid and he was going bats, bats. Yeah, he's
Bats.
yeah.
Shoes.
Yeah, I love him after that. But yeah, man, like festivals. I think the best one I've ever been to, even though I don't even listen to techno, probably Awakenings in Amsterdam
Yeah.
because it's a really professional. Every stage is like a main stage back home, and they've got about 6 or 7 of them. The sound systems are unreal. You can feel the bass and like the volume right at the back. It's just really professional, and you're with all like Europeans and Dutch people. There's no bad vibes.
Mm.
Yeah, it's really good energy there. So I'll try and make sure I go to that one every year. But yeah, I haven't been ADE yet, unfortunately. I've had tickets for it for a couple of years in the run-ins, but because I come back from my Ibiza and I'm just written off. I don't get a chance to go to that one.
We'll get
But yeah, definitely want to make the effort for it this time, especially because we're missing out on COVID. Obviously, some waves I want to get in.
Sunwave,
Um,
the
and
one.
then yeah, like back home for selectors and just like great music in our scene, it's got to be Houghton and Gotwood.
Yeah. Oh,
The lineups on them are just crazy, and I haven't been to them yet either. So I need to pull my finger out and get going. But
with the connections I've been getting, I've got a few connections with those festivals at the moment, which is quite exciting.
yeah,
See
yeah,
what happens with that.
yeah. Well, I won't have to jump over the fence then. You can plug me a ticket. Yeah.
Touch wood.
No, I'm joking.
I'll get you something on the right.
Got to respect that. But
Hassle.
no, yeah. Don't worry, I'll pay for my festival tickets. Don't at me.
I
But
can't,
yeah,
but yeah, let's talk more about like our residencies and how they were developing in Ibiza. Like we shelled it pretty much every week at Paradise Bar, which was a nice challenge for us because it's right next to Eden, which is a super club, and then you've got Es Paradise, which is like goated. It is goated, like
mhm.
it's for what it is, but obviously it doesn't have that buzz they're used to, and it does like foam parties now.
Doesn't do the lineups or events anymore, does it? Unfortunately.
Be the one. So Paradise Bar is essentially the spin-off of Es Paradise, and it's just a little
Mm.
right. But we did our job, and we brought fresh talent on weekly. Like you'd have all of us going B2B, like 7 to fucking 10 DJs on a lineup, just nice little residents and keeping the vibes going. And the vibes were sick. And then we obviously, do you remember James offered us the next year? He was like, we might open blue rooms for you lot, and like
Yeah, beers would be mad.
Rooms is sick. Blue Rooms is goated as well. It's just this little venue, a little dark room, perfect, and a really nice sound system like that. I think we would have done bits, but obviously COVID, you know, we would have gone back. We would have got Blue Rooms. We probably would have ended up in fucking DC 10 at that rate. Do you know what I mean? Get in the terrace with Game Over or something. You know, big up the Game Over lot. But
Yeah, fair
yeah,
one.
with the amount of bits that we did in a season, like from nothing, we started with nothing. We all met, and we did residencies, and we just showed it. We did our bits, but
Yeah, got our inspiration and motivation from each other, and like helped each other out, and yeah, just got in. Went up. We sort of not didn't beg our way in everywhere, but we went in. Nothing was done on social media or like email or anything like that. In Ibiza, it's a very dynamic environment and it moves quick.
yeah,
Like lineups get put up on the day sometimes, don't they?
my God,
And
around
it
and
moves rapid.
posting.
But yeah, it's that we were in that. Obviously, you've got all the super clubs like Amnesia and DC 10 where they've got their things boxed off. But there's only probably like 7 clubs that are like that, and then you've got all the ones. You've got probably about 30 or 40 clubs that operate in a dynamic way where you go up to the owner and say, "Look, I can do this. I can bring this many people in," and then they want the money. Do you know what I mean? They want that. So if you can offer them something good, um, yeah, you're going to get a slot in there where you're going to be able to throw a night. Um, and then it's just down to you to promote it. But then that's what the workers scene is for as well. Like if you're working well, like you're getting on with the workers, you're meeting people. You got to go out on nights sometimes, even if you don't feel like it. Like you've got to go out, and if you're there to achieve things in music, you've got to go out and network and meet people. And yeah, and have party and have fun as well. But you know, a lot of people out there pushing music, so the more people you meet,
Yeah,
the better off you're going to be.
amazing
But
connection. There's no, you know, they say you're only as strong as your weakest link or whatever, but there's no weak
mhm,
links in backyard. You know, like we've got to big up Sam Richards. Like you know, he's doing bits in techno, and like you know, you've got
yeah,
Ramon, and you've got like even Aaron's producing some bangers at the moment, and you got
yeah, yeah.
Chris and Ozzy. Like their partnership is like they're just both sick producers and DJs, and they know exactly what they're doing. They're really professional. It's a pleasure to.
Smashing it, absolutely smashing it. Probably had the biggest releases out of everyone. Done, yeah, done the most. Um, number ones. You know what I mean? Releasing on Inamu, on Whipping, with like Mason Collector's label. They've got some. I was speaking to them the other day. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but yeah, they've got some really huge potential with labels this year.
Omar
So
Mason Collective.
everyone's gonna remember that, like remember those names because everyone's gonna be talking about them.
They'll be household
Um,
names soon. Ozzy and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
big up
definitely.
Stacey as well. Mason Collective's manager. She's a babe, man. She's so nice. Lovely person. Had her back for an afters once. Lovely person. But yeah. I mean, we just got and Begsy as well. Like, can't not shout out Begsy.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
And he's got
Is Nelly remix? God, last time I checked, it was 50K. I swear it's gone up past that.
yeah. Let's shout out some of these insane tunes coming out for free as well. Like obviously with copyright. Oh, it's one of my tracks. That's just, but
Yeah, Dentro Records, Begsy's Dentro Records. Check them out. Two step slash minimal house flavors, and yeah, we're really unique sound. Um,
we're gonna
Smashing it.
we're gonna sell
New wave,
for fun. When they can,
new wave of garage and minimal, man, and they're just killing it. Really good. Like Brandon and like is the lad who runs it with, yeah, like B&H. Fucking awesome bloke in the studio, wizard, and they both got a really good ear, man. Come up from obviously like the South London garage like influences, and just really got a good ear for like a good sample, and can really put some nice stuff together, man.
they're
So,
in a podcast as well. I see. Dentro's got a podcast. That's good. That's good.
well, you booked him in?
Oh mate, I'm getting everyone booked in. I'm gonna get Begsy.
Yeah, sick.
So
Love it.
just
So yeah, like
these
I've
people.
actually got like quite a cool thing I'm excited about. So we got Franco and Harper booked for an event for when we return. Um, and like before we booked them, obviously they're doing bits like Council Works popped since then over COVID, and they got a tune in on the GTA soundtrack as well.
Seen that.
Um,
Big fan.
yeah, which is banging. So I was thinking of like dream lineups the other day. So I want to put them on a night with Begsy like and Dentro. And then obviously because they got those two-step flavors, and then we got Ozzy in there as well. He loves his garage.
Um,
And then probably Christian down as well. Get him a set because all those boys like smash it with like the whole two-step.
Begsy and Christian's a sick B2B as well. Like, love seeing.
Yeah, yeah.
And who else can we pick up? Yeah, no, just like the talent coming out of that backyard group is ridiculous. Like Ozzy, what was that tune? With the vocal. Not say it right. Wait, I have to Google it. Ozzy.
What for?
Only You.
Only You, yeah. Wow.
Courage infused little.
Yeah. So like Alicia was dropping that a few times in the big gigs, and like the roar from the crowd was a madness, wasn't it?
This was just before like lockdown, like the first lockdown. So Chris Gillan's like his Gorillas edit, the Gorillas one, Gorillas,
Yeah.
a Feel Good Inc. edit that is on. I don't know how many plays these guys are on, but like, I'm just bigging them up because they deserve the exposure. They've already got the exposure, but do you know what I mean, Gillan's.
Yeah, and like also like it's just good for people to know that like we're linked in with those sort of names. So if they ever need like help with anything, like we've got that sort of experience that can help them out.
Definitely. I forgot to mention Chris has a release on BU. But yeah, this is our network, and I've been I've been bigging up, our network and stuff to all of my pupils and saying like, we've got these artists that are getting top tens on Beatport. These are the people that they drop us tips, don't they? They tell us, X, Y, and Z, and they're like, there was a point where we were all doing, dropping Ableton tips in the group and stuff, and it was a bit more active. Obviously, COVID stuff in right hook, and we're taking a bit of a blow, all of us as artists.
Yeah, but like if you think of it, like when that group was going, like when that group was strong, it was like we were all sort of still trying to find our feet.
Yeah.
And now everyone's busy doing bits, and like it's not if you put in the chat, I got a top 10 this week, or can you support my track? Then like it's just standard now, isn't it?
It's standard. We don't
like
the bits that are going on is like, yeah, man, like it's standard. You're getting top tens. Beggsy's got Dentro, which is doing bits. You've got Rawcast. We need to get Christian.
Yeah.
And I'm always looking out for opportunities for us, like ADE. If we can get a stage there, that'd be pretty doable. With
yeah, I'll definitely throw a backyard joint at some point. Definitely.
Yeah, man. In Bristol,
100%.
Stokes Cross.
Do some guest lists for your academy.
Oh yeah, mate. Everyone from the academy can come watch.
Yeah.
Booth, they can see how
we do it afters, have a network, have a chat and stuff like that with them.
Yeah, we'll do. We'll definitely do some networking events. But yeah, long-term plan is hopefully get a sort of physical school where people can come and touch decks and touch CDJs and you know, if they don't have that at home or the money. That's a big thing we like. We like bridging the gap for people who aren't necessarily privileged like I am myself, where I have a pair of decks, I have a Mac. You know, not everyone can afford a MacBook to produce, and it's not easy. You know, you've got to buy Ableton. It's a high barrier for entry in terms of cost, like 500 quid for fucking Ableton, or, you know, you crack it or whatever, and then it crashes, and, you know, it's hard to not do it the legit way and put a lot of money forward, but that's just the industry. But, you know, you book with Music Workflow Academy, we send you samples, we send you templates, we'll coach you. So, you know, time is money. That's the bottom line, and we help you make tracks faster. That's where the workflow
Yeah.
comes. We're all about workflow and boosting how many tracks you're putting out a week, because if you're putting one track out a year, I'm going to break it to you, you know, you're not going to make it. You need to be putting out, you know, at least one a month, for me, in my opinion, at least. And it's just practicing your craft, you know, like back in the day, people who practice their craft the most were the most successful. And, like, you know, now you've got NBA players. You see Curry on the fucking field for like 8 hours practicing every day. He
Yeah.
hasn't stopped just because he's one of the best NBA players in the world. It's all about the practice you put into the craft and the appreciation into, like, learning the process and stuff. And a lot, you know, unfortunately, a lot of producers don't get that guidance early on, and then they get bad habits, and they're like, fuck, you know, they're fucked, and they're the hardest ones to teach, because they're not willing to let go of, oh, I need to make everything in Serum from scratch, and I'm not allowed to use sample packs, and do you know that?
Oh yeah, that mentality, man. Like, I can understand it because you take pride in that, but when you realize like some of the biggest tracks in the game have just been like a chopped sample, or
Oh, mate, they're all
like,
samples. They're all
yeah, like
samples.
it's
It's what you do with the sample. It's not what you've got. It's what you do with it. You know. Oh, you
yeah.
skinning the animals to make the drums, make the drums to use in their tracks. They're not, bro. Are they going out and making the knife that they stab the animal with? No. So,
Yeah, like, and also when you're first starting out like that, you can use, say, loops for everything, and then
yeah.
just start easing your way into it. So write your own snare within it, like have a top, but then write your own kicks. Just do a groove in the kicks, like a double kick instead of like a straight row of kicks, or and then yeah, then drop your snare sample and write your own snare sample, and gradually you can start writing your own music. But you don't have to do that all at first. Just have fun with it. Just make sure that you're enjoying it, because otherwise you're just going to get sick of it. So if you can put some loops together and you think it sounds wicked and you're proud, happy that you made that, and you enjoy that, then that's job done, isn't it? And then as you move on, if you do that again with some loops and you make something that you enjoy, then maybe just take one of the loops out, like the kick or the bass, and write your own one in there, and then that's a bit of you in that track. Do you know what I mean? But at least you still had fun. You're not putting too much pressure on yourself, because yeah, like when you first start out and you're trying to write a whole track in MIDI, it can be quite disheartening, because you need a bit of experience to make it sound good. And
You can't expect yourself to just start. You've got no idea about music production. You just go bang. I'm going to do. You know, one of the harder things is making a track with MIDI. Like obviously you work yourself up to it. That's what you should do. You got to break down these objectives into little targets, little
yeah,
small targets. Like you said, is exactly how I started. I started with everything was audio. I'd go, obviously, I've had bare experience as a DJ. I'd go and play that track out, and it'd get a mad reaction. And I'd be like, okay, this is a track with just samples, and people fucking love it. That's the end result. People enjoying your track. That's what people get wrong. They forget about the end thing, because they may not DJ, or they may not know. You know that the response you want is a crowd to go crazy over your track. That's the best response you can get. Someone screw facing one of your tunes.
gun fingers.
Yeah, got you reload. Fucking
Yeah, it's job done, isn't
true wheel ups.
it?
The relationship that you have with your computer is really important. You know, if you come to your door and you're frustrated and frazzled, and you're making tracks, you're not enjoying it, that's fucked, man. You shouldn't be doing that. Like,
Yeah,
there's ways to unlock creativity in yourself and not get flustered. It's, you know, like we said earlier, right at the start of the podcast, the state of flow, where there's enough of a challenge, but you're capable. You need to be capable, you know, and if that is just dragging one shots, into a project or dragging loops into a project from a sample pack. That's what you're capable with, except you're limited and slowly learn
Yeah.
their skills. But like
Yeah.
some of the bits we've been doing since we've opened, like we're accelerating growth like nothing anyone's ever seen before. We've got tips on workflow that's not anywhere else on the internet, because obviously
Oh.
they all come from me and stuff. So it's perfect. It's really unique.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we
Bringing something different to the table, isn't it?
100. It's not there, and no one can compete, because to be a business like ours, you need to be great at music and you need to have a lot of business acumen. So luckily for me, I've got a bit of business acumen and fucking I'm all right at making music. So
Mm.
that's how it works.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta have it all.
You can't
Um.
fake a real sound. You need to have
No.
gone to the warehouses to hear sounds, because they from those warehouses, you know, especially if you're any producer, if you're an underground artist, unless you're making pop, you need to know what the underground's saying. You need to have your ear to the underground. You need to
You
be
need to know what they want to hear, innit? You need to see those reactions and.
what they want to hear next, what's not been done.
Mm.
What's the next UFO sound that hasn't been sampled, you know? Check
Mm.
what they're doing at Eject, check what they're doing at Dentro, check what they're doing at Rawcast. Those are the next
Mm.
sounds you're going to be hearing. Check
Mm.
coming out of Aussie's releases, like those
Mm.
the
Yeah.
that you're going to be
The underground provides
everything. Oh man, David Guetta, like in an interview, you know, he's
legend.
a legend, bruv. I don't get, if anyone bashes him, you can fuck off. Like I'm not too right now. If you're,
He used to spin some serious beats before he went into EDM, man. I've seen videos of him in Space Ibiza on the terrace, mate, shelling.
yeah,
Um, there's 130 BPM like
he's level.
house beats, bro.
These levels, he was there at the start of Tech House. I'm pretty sure he may have birthed Tech House, or he was a part of that way before what it is now. That's regurgitated.
Wait,
For,
didn't he start an Alias? Didn't he start an Alias?
yeah, Jack's back. Jack back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he was playing the music he actually wanted to play.
Do you know what? Even Calvin Harris, he copied it. He did the same thing. He did Regenerator or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
For their love of the roots, he just went back
Mm.
to Tech House, you know. And but before, way back when Tech House was like underground, 10 people in a room on belt drives, like that's what they
Yeah.
started. That's what they thought was cool. I bet they didn't think they were going to get to where they did today, or play what they play now. But you know, David Guetta, man, like he says he keeps his ear to the underground and his ear to the pop charts, and he'll put the pop track and then he'll get what's happening in the underground and put it in his pop track, and that's what resonates with people. You get,
Yeah, so they draw their inspiration from, yeah.
and he knows how to write a melody that's gonna be a hit, and I don't.
Yeah.
He just knows. Do you know what I mean? He'll write it and he'll go, right, that's a hit. I'd love to have that skill. I think that's something you can get over time. But yeah, man.
Yeah, like to be honest, like once you get to a certain level, I mean, you could pretty much without knowing too much music theory, you could write a whole track bar the melody, really. That's what sort of I was getting at too before I sort of like put a pause in production to work on like other projects. But you could write your own drums, you could write your bass, and there's only like single notes in it and stuff like that. And then the melody is really where you could write everything else yourself and then just use a sample, chop up a sample for the melody, and you're sorted.
Yeah,
And,
with Ableton 11, you can now do like scales, and you just click the scales button, and it shows you all of the notes in that scale, and then you can
nice. Oh,
and fucking
like a little chord pad or something. You just press one button and it
yeah,
plays like the chord for you.
get your push out, get your Ableton push, and you can do
Wow.
called MPE, which is like it's like a movement performance engine or something, and you can drag chords, you can drag notes to other notes, and you can do like diatonic chords and like legato,
Yeah.
cemento, just from looking at it. So kids could get into it. I like that there's a bit of a barrier to entry at the moment where it's like it's still hard to learn. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, music,
Yeah.
and if you don't have any help, it is bare difficult to learn. Bare difficult. That I struggled so much, and I was like, when I get good, I'm going to teach people, because there wasn't a teacher out there who had the sound, the underground sound. It was all like it all just sounded too cheesy, you know. Like you go on YouTube and you're like, this sounds shit. This sounds shit. You want to learn
Yeah,
as a sound that you actually want, you know, that you actually like. And my sound is like, I'm kind of on like the organ house, like breakbeat kind of vibe at the moment. And, you know, I'm trying to keep my ear to the ground, but there's producers at the moment that are making fucking, the stuff that's coming out from your label is what I'm talking about. It's like the next UFO sound. It's stuff that,
yeah,
yeah. And that's the magic of it, in my opinion. Like
yeah,
copying an artist, don't do what Toman's doing or Rossi, do what you're doing and until it's good enough. And then you'll have your own,
yeah,
and then you'll be the next Rossi.
mate. Honestly, it's like I could really, I can talk about that like for a few minutes, to be honest. Because God, I mean,
We're here on a
the
podcast.
whole scene is
We're here.
making this at the moment in the minimal scene is making like they're all sounding the same, like which isn't a bad thing at all. It's still great music, but you know, if sometimes I think if I put some like if I blindfolded myself or went through a few tracks, sometimes I wouldn't be able to tell how many artists have made them. Maybe it could be two, it could be 10. Um,
Drive by
it's
Chris.
all sounding a bit the same. So what you just mentioned there is that is something that I was thinking as well. And right now as a label owner, and I was thinking with Sam, we were saying that whoever it's obviously because of COVID as well, and there's no inspiration in clubs. Do you know what I mean? And everyone, there's nothing for people to make a change with. But yeah, whoever takes the risk to make a change in their sound now and starts releasing something different, they're going to prevail in it because people want to hear some different, something unique. Even DJs who want to play something that's going to make the crowd go, oh, like have a bit of a reaction to it.
Definitely.
And as a label as well, I mean, we were doing a sort of like Rossi style beats. Hopefully, you like to think we were getting them out a bit earlier, and now they're quite popular. There's a lot of labels doing it, which I love. It's wicked. But with us, we've always sort of wanted to just be a little bit different now, and so we're sort of signing. We've signed a lot of our demos. We couldn't really go with. They're great tracks, and we've put them onto bigger labels and stuff like that. But yeah, we wanna go back to the more like a minimal stripped back sort of sound. Ellum, Jake Ellum from Ibiza as well. He come through with some wicked demos. He was in with the Wonky Sessions lads. Like shout out them, Gaskin, he smashed it.
Big up one productions.
Yeah, Will Davis and Moscow
Big
and
up.
all that class lads. Carl Fanta.
Big up.
But yeah, like he's come through with some stripped back beats and some more minimal groove in it and some organic sounds, and it was like a breath of fresh air, man. And he didn't use that bass, that signature bass that sort of like we've always signed and a lot of people are using now. He
Yeah.
had more of like a dubbier bass, and it was nice. It was really nice.
Like,
And yeah, it was wicked. It was a breath of fresh air. And we just signed it, bro. It was sick.
Mm.
And like, obviously, we release it and like see where it gets on the charts. But like, we're just happy to release something a bit different now and go forward with it.
that could change the direction of things a lot. You know, people may hear that and go, "Fuck, this is the new sound," or you know, it
Yeah, man.
doesn't it?
It's so nice to hear. It remembers like what made you love minimal. Do you know what I mean? Like hearing those Romanian influence beats, because the UK scene is its own thing now. You could send demos off. If you're still minimal, but you could send demos off to a minimal label, and they'd say that sounds too UK.
Definitely, that's a great point.
So yeah, so like yeah, the UK scene is now doing its own thing, and it's like it's not obviously tech house, but it's its own sort of. I just call it minimal house now. Well, that's the UK scene, and now we refer to Romanian minimal as Rominimal. We've like separated the genres, and it's like they're not even subgenres, bro. They're like completely different genres in everyone's eyes. But yeah, man, it's
you know, if you try and blend a Rominimal tune into a UK minimal tune, the kick is so like prominent and punchy.
It would be such a switch up in styles. It would be like you'd be like, what set am I listening to here? Like when I put sets together, I put all my favorite tracks in, and then I'm like, wow, I can't actually play this because I'm going Romanian into UK, then I'm going into like Dutch piv, and then people are gonna think like, what am I doing? Like, so I've got to keep like the sort of Dutch like no art, Christusy, like Toman and all that. I've got to keep them to their own, and then like the Romanian, like obviously the old East End dub stuff, and
Yeah. Who?
yeah, like Mihai Pol Barak and
Yeah. Go on. Say some names. Say some names. I'm a big
oh
fan.
yeah, like to be honest, like God, there's some like I can't even think of the top of my head now. You put me on the spot, but yeah, like Mihai Pol and like Barak and all that, what I love. Obviously that old school East End dub stuff.
Peter
Yeah.
Rescue.
Sorry.
Peter Inspirescu. They got some mad names. Some of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you got people like Sweetie, who's like
sweet.
not. He's like yeah, he's wicked. He's
Okay.
like still he's got a Romanian influence, but he's a bit more like a lot more energetic with like the hi hats and the bass. And
If you,
the thing I love about the Romanimal is like it's just a sick vibe, but also like it's the arrangements are so random. Like there's like I've never. This is crazy being in a minimal rave, like a minimal rave, and then like the like the effect of just like a hi hat or a clap coming in out of nowhere, what it does to the crowd. Just a simple clap coming in when no one expects it, and everyone's like, "Way!" Like it's fucking brilliant. Um,
I love
yeah, man.
those the delays that they've got. They've got like the hardware. Like there's a Stephen Baz tune. It's called 300. It's on Locus, and it's just got this delay on it, and it's just like so. It's like a thunder. It's like a. It's just a sick delay.
Yeah,
It's like sounds like glass just
being
shattering.
different, isn't it? That's it. That's what we're talking about. Just trying different things, even with the delays. You know what I mean? That's you've remembered that. And that's
Oh,
cool. Like that's it's just this it confirms what we're speaking about.
it's a little detail.
Like if he just did a normal delay, you wouldn't have remembered that tune, or wouldn't have remembered that element to it. But he's fucked with
Tune
it. He's risked it.
the
He's
delay.
tried to be a bit different. He's put it out there, and then you enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? And it's got on a locus.
I can just
So
imagine.
it just proves what we've just been speaking about.
I can imagine him being there with his hardware, just tweaking the delay, it's like a thunderous delay throughout the track, and if that wasn't there, it wouldn't be my favorite. It's been my favorite track for like a month and a bit now. Stephen Baz
Yeah,
100. Oh my god, what a
yeah, he's a G man.
yeah, I love that, and I just love like the integrity that some of these labels have, like Fuse. They're always putting out the next best thing, and you go back and how they've been doing like garagey, minimal, stripped back beats. I love that as well, and I think
Yeah,
BU has a lot of potential as well. Like they're keeping things under wraps, obviously over lockdown, and Laidlaw, like as a selector, I love what Laidlaw does and how his tracks are kind of like 90s influenced, like almost pop house, but after hours sounds, stuff you'd hear at like 11 a.m. the next day or like 7 a.m. Do you know what I mean? I'm a big fan of Laidlaw and his productions. I first kind of got gist of what he was doing with that Slapcast, Slap Funk. We got to big up them as well.
yeah,
Brother and all of them lot, like half of Dungeon Meat, Tristan da Cunha. Oh my god! Like back when I was first raving, which wasn't even that long ago, but like like however long ago, 10 years ago, or whatever the fuck. Um, yeah,
getting on now in it. 12 years, I think.
jeez.
I mean, nearly 30. 30.
But we've got a whole life ahead of us, and the
Yeah,
and stuff like. We've got if we were just to focus and Ozzy, which we'll try and get him on the show, and Chris as well. Just I'd love to get into their brains and see what they think about the music production process and how
yeah,
how we're so enthusiastic about the little details. And it's like when you get an element, it's how far can you take that element, like Fabe as well, he's really good at that, where he'll get something and it will just sound like he'll take it to the next level. And if we're looking more at tech house stuff, Darius Sarosian, he knows how to make a banger as well. Big fan of
yeah.
music and all of them lot.
Moxie, yeah, he's done well. Just even with like bringing on artists and just he's quite he's stayed well connected with the underground scene. Darius has,
Yeah, he's good with
which is
throwing.
good.
He's still up for throwing a rave and stuff. And Scream,
Yeah,
you mentioned Scream. I saw he did a Balami radio set, and he had Rossi on his track list and Rich and XT in his track list. And
that's cool. Hearing them and Balami.
so it's good to see that. Should we talk a little bit about like your talent agency and what's to come? We're gonna try and do like a fusion of some of these artists and bringing them on to do features and stuff. And
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, as far as the whole record label thing goes, I mean, if any of your viewers ever wanted to go down that road, I mean, we can do another one. We can do another chat about setting up a label and the process and cool things you can do with that. Um, Obviously, it's time consuming doing it, but it can have its networking benefits as well. But yeah, I've gone down the route of now the label's up and running. I've joined up with a lad who runs the record label Abstract, Harry Ratcliffe.
oh, no.
Um, yeah, like Abstract, they've done some really nice beats, man, and he's got a really good ethos. He's someone you can trust, and like he he's got his head screwed on, man. Good business mindset, great at networking, and yeah, like he's got a very good ear for things. So we've started up an agency, and we've started off with someone like fresh artists. We've got like a development pool, so we've got artists that we can spend time on, and then we've got some like bringing on getting their demos up to scratch and getting them out to labels and stuff like that. And then we've got some artists that have just approached us and saying like, oh, we don't need any help, but can you just handle the booking fees? And then we've got some that need a bit of a mix. But yeah, it'll be it's good, man. Like everyone's brought on their own sort of links, and we're going to be knocking up some events. The events are getting booked. The lads are getting bookings already, and yeah, we'll be knocking up some events organically with all our links as a collective for the agency. So that's cool. So we're sort of like boosting ourselves with our links, which is then recycling and boosting the lads in like the development pool. Like we're giving them gigs. It's pretty cool how it's all working. But there's some talented producers on there, definitely, and we've got lads that we just signed PSTW, which are the boys that run Lacuna Records.
Big fan. Shout out there.
Yeah, huge label, man. A lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, and wicked lads. And yeah, we're in talks with Ozzy and Chris, so hopefully they jump on board at some point. We've got Yogi P on. That's not been announced yet, I don't think, but he's on board. So yeah, I'll speak to the lads about it. I'm sure they'll be well up for doing some tutorials for your Workflow Academy, and yeah, it'll be good to have some good features on there. If any of your viewers, if there's anything they'd like to hear from the lads, if they want some tutorials from percussion, bass lines, if they want a quick minimal beat in 20 minutes, just let Omar know, and we can work something out.
Yeah.
I can get them to record some bits for you, and we'll get some nice features, and it'll be good to connect everyone and yeah, like benefit from it.
Huge, mate. Absolutely huge. I love that putting our minds together, we're gonna make something big. Yeah, Music Workflow Academy to the moon. Let's go.
Yeah, it'd be good for you to have a feature section, mate, and then like you can find out what the people want from your academy, and we can I'll just drop it in with the lads. I'm sure they'll throw some tutorials across, but
yeah,
as more artists come on, I'm sure we're always looking to get artists and big artists and stuff like that. So yeah, the more that come on, we'll send them your way and get some tutorials going, and it'll be a nice little exclusive thing for your academy.
Definitely,
and,
we want to do some live streams as well soon. So maybe we could get one of your artists on for an hour live stream.
And is that producing or DJing or
producing?
Producing, yeah, sick.
Because I like those producer live streams. I think they're quite fun because people can fuck with it and be like, why don't we try the bass line like this? And then collabing with 100 people.
Yeah, it's interactive as well. Like you can ask the questions there and then, whether I was guessing. Do you know what I mean? And that's quite cool. Yeah, I wish I sort of had that when I was learning.
Yeah, man, we're just trying to provide as many resources as possible. Like,
yeah, it's a good idea that.
Anything that a beginner could want, we've got everything. We've got templates, racks, fucking sample packs. We've got a team of sound designers at the moment making sample packs with us. We've got a marketing team. We've got fucking loads of stuff going on. But yeah, we're just trying to get a budget up, and we just want to be there for any beginner producer who wants to learn, and then we can help them.
Yeah, yeah. I'll try and I'd love to support any way I can. So yeah, like I said, you got me here with a record label. If I know we've just brushed off it today, we've just had a bit of a general chit chat, but we can do a really focused one on record labels to get your students to put some questions in about record labels, and I can come on and answer them all another time if they want. We can bring Begsy on from Dentro as well.
Oh, mate, we need Begsy.
Um,
He's a joker, man.
yeah, we can do a nice little talk because I'm sure because that's the thing, man. Like God, like there's nothing out there actually telling you like how to start a record label, how to get going about it. There's nothing there at all.
That's it.
Um,
We're doing
I
stuff.
don't even know how I figured it out, man. I think I just blagged it. I went with the flow, but
Fucking
yeah,
hot.
like it'll be. I'd love to do a little video tutorial just explaining everything to anyone that wants to do it because it definitely, as a producer, having a record label on the side, even if you don't want to make it big, even if it's just a small thing that releases quality music into the scene, that is going to benefit you.
Definitely, definitely. Tell the people. Tell the people. So, I'm always trying to destroy like the elitists and their invalid arguments. So, like, matey says, "Oh, I'm gonna release on a Bandcamp and not on a record label." Why should they pick a record label over Bandcamp, where they get their work?
Yeah, so like I think Bandcamp's good once you're fully established, because obviously you get the money, but
Yeah,
when you're doing things like this, you can't be chasing the money that the short-term games. You want to have a long-term plan, and like Bandcamp ain't really gonna put you out there that much. Whereas a record label's got the network and the distribution for you to put yourself out there. So you just got to keep cracking on with your 9 to 5 and using the reach from the labels to get yourself out there. And then later on, you can do an odd EP on Bandcamp to get the money.
yeah.
But yeah, like the, if you're focusing on money straight away,
You're doing it wrong.
yeah, you got to be doing it for the love, man, and the money comes later. I mean, it sounds cliche, but it's so true. So,
Put your money.
like, big up Bandcamp for allowing artists to get access to their royalties. But when you're first starting off, you want to be getting yourself into labels.
If you spend 2,000 quid on lessons, you will make more money than if you didn't spend any money on lessons. That's it.
Yeah,
Put the money down,
yeah,
and then you have to give money to get money. That's how
yeah,
it worked. Ask anyone,
yeah,
they'll tell you the same thing. No one has got big from putting no money down and just going, I'm not going to market myself. I'm not going to.
yeah,
Everything's been a team effort, man. Anything
yeah,
the Pioneer is not one person. People who make TVs, fucking people who make headphones, people who make mirrors. It's not one
yeah.
keeping it to themselves. It's a
You
collaboration.
you got to be prepared to do it without. You got to be prepared to do this your passion for free for years,
It's
for
years,
years,
at least 8 years.
years. Do you want it? Do you want it that much to do it for 8 years, 10 years? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I love the 10
You,
rule. Like, I know
you
it's old news, but like, you got to put your time in, man, because
yeah,
people buy something from you when I've been doing this for at least, like I said, 10 years. I mean, I've put the fucking hours in. That's why it works. You need expertise. You need to have put the hours in. You need,
yeah. It'll just become part of your life. Just make sure you're enjoying it.
yeah.
Make sure those hours aren't miserable. Make sure you're not killing yourself. Make sure you're just setting like realistic goals, and you got a good plan to go forward. And yeah, you're enjoying those hours you're putting in. It will become part of your life, and it'll be good fun. Do you know what I mean? Enjoy the process.
If you're
Um,
enjoying it, hit us up for a lesson. We'll put you in the right direction 100%. Like everyone says I changed the way they look at Ableton, and like, it helps people. They don't get so stressed out with it. Like fucking such a
yeah,
get stressed out. I'm never stressed in the studio ever. I'm calm. It's when I'm at probably one of my calmest moments. But yeah,
yeah, 100%.
definitely
Yeah,
set. And like I said, your relationship with what you're doing, you need to have a positive relationship and want to hop in the door and experiment and
yeah.
too bogged down
And like,
and stuff.
don't don't ever compare yourself to other people as well. Like you're in your own lane.
Yeah,
Like a
100%.
lot of people that have done well might have known have might have just have family with good connections, might have friends with good connections. And the music scene, it is a lot of the time, it is about who you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Once.
which yeah, I can say it's good or bad, but you could don't if you think your track's sick, but your friend's not as good as producer and he's doing well. Don't worry about it. Your time will come. Just keep staying positive, doing positive things. Um, yeah, and it will get there. Do you know what? Like oh God, I've thought about giving up a few times before we started the label, and like I found a bit of a purpose now, which is why I love doing it. But it's mad, like God, you could probably relate to this as well. Like you have your breakthrough, you
Yeah.
have your little breakthroughs just after you've decided you weren't going to give up.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's when the breakthrough comes through. It's mad. It is mad. I think maybe it's a mental thing. Maybe it's like more of a spiritual thing or whatever. But just don't give up. Just stick at it.
If you
Um,
you give up at that point and you pack it in, but you never would have known
what
what
was around the corner? Yeah,
you're just about to unlock the next level, and you're just about to
yeah,
diamond.
yeah,
Don't look at other people; they've got their diamonds. They've probably been doing it longer than you. Do you know what I mean? Why would you
yeah,
pay yourself to like Paradise Records or Hot Creations or whatever? They've been doing it for 20 years longer. Where could Eject be in 20 years? You know, it's like
yeah.
it could be bigger, man. But
On the moon.
on the moon, yeah, with me, MWA and his, we're gonna have Raves, mate.
Moon minimal.
Moon minimal. That's that. I've got a label. I'm just gonna plug my label, Atmos Tempo Records. We got
Big up Atmos.
big up Atmos, bro. We got some talent signed from Australia, some from America. We're just kind of, we're just getting all the global flavors. Really, we're just so interested in how people are doing it different in different countries, and it's more of a fun project at the moment. But we've got MWA, which you can have the chance to sign to Atmos Tempo Records, and we'll promote your work on Spotify and everything. But how can people send their music to Eject? This is a big level up for anyone listening. It's
Yeah, so like yeah, I've always got time for anyone that sends music in, like preferably like sending us minimal beats. But yeah, you can get us on a Jet Records UK on Instagram, or you can email us at demos@jetrecords
yes.
UK.com.
And we will include that demo email in the description of this podcast, and we'll tag their Insta as well. So yeah, Reese, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yes, mate, wicked. You're good to do it.
We'll say bye for now, but we'll get you on again soon, and we can go into the nitty gritty of making a label and how you've made it so
Yeah,
as well, which is
yeah, I'd love to do that. That'll be wicked.
All right, guys. Thank you. We're going to
All
try
right.
and get, a big artist on next, and we'll like Chris Ozzy, and then we'll see how.
Yeah, yeah. Big up everyone at the academy. Like, well done for putting the hours in and paying for your lessons, and trying to better yourself over lockdown as well. And like, wish you all the best. And you're in good hands.
Yes, keep sticks on. Peace.